TV, voice of the voices.
I am so for super glue and enmity a dream. And the black Rasta, some money in black Rasta, and then wabu boom say Jata wabafi, wabu boom say Kramaya Yamani Diane. Nebufunia, ne saying, the Mamma Casa and Wano, Mama Yanko, Nanquity, the black Rasta Nankasa, Eka, as a Kakum, the Genoquinum, to Mama Yanko, Nayanquity, be coming home.
And he says, it will be dishonest for anybody to say Ghanaians are living due to hardship. And this is coming from one Dr. Gideon Boako. We'll find out exactly who Dr. Gideon Boako is. And I read, Dr. Gideon Boako, the spokesperson for Vice President Dr. Mamudu Bawumia, has dismissed allegations that Ghanaians are leaving the country due to a loss of faith in the current administration. Now, speaking in an interview on City FM, Boako described such claims as dishonest and misleading, addressing the growing perception that many Ghanaians are immigrating due to dissatisfaction with the government. Dr. Boako argued that these assertions do not accurately reflect the reality and undermine the government's efforts. He emphasized the need to consider positive reasons for travel, such as increased cross-border trade. It will be the highest level of dishonesty if anybody says that people are living due to hopelessness or hardship. People travel for different reasons. Some are going to school, some for business. 10 years ago, how many Ghanaians used to travel to Dubai? Dr. Gideon Boako says that the government is doing well, and that the efforts of the NPP government in power right now, led by Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, should be applauded for all the wonderful efforts. According to him, people are not leaving Ghana because of the loss of faith in this government in power. If people are leaving at all, we have to look at the fact that cross-border activities have increased due to the government's increased action on immigration and so on and so forth, and freedom of movement. He's also talking about the fact that many Ghanaians are only just traveling to do business and return to the country. My brother, my sister, people like Dr. Gideon Boako are candidates for hell. These are the people Satan is ready to embrace in hell for being so dishonest because their stomachs are full. There are some people who do not care about what other people feel as long as their bellies are full. One such person is Dr. Gideon Boako. I don't know him. I've never known him. This is the first time I'm hearing his name. But I can tell you on authority, these are the people who are perfect candidates for hell. And Satan is ready for them any day, any time. My brother, my sister, statistics have shown without any doubt that 99% of all Ghanaians in these times who are leaving the country are basically not leaving because they want to go for an excursion. They are not leaving because they are going for any business. They are living because the country has gone from bad to worse. You can pretend as much as you want. You can continue to tickle yourself and laugh. But the writing is on the wall. The elections are coming. And you'll be told in plain black and white whether your government is doing good or bad. And if Ghanaians allow themselves to be bribed, their conscience to be bought, their birthright to be paid for pittance, my brother, my sister, I will leave this country, and I keep saying it every day because I do not want to renege and give any excuses when in the case, a rare case of this government being maintained in power, I will have to come back and give excuses. No, sir. My brother, my sister, look at the activities around Lampedusa. How many Ghanaians are involved in stowaway? In these days, stowaway activities have increased. Take a walk to the embassies right here in Ghana and ask them how many illegal submissions they have each day from people who are tired and just want to run out of this country. There's so much hopelessness in this country. The government in power does not see it. They have plunged this country into so much debt. Debt that will take another 1,000 years to pay. By what time these guys in power would have all turned into dry bones. That is if they have any bones in them at all. Wicked people. People like Dr. Gideon Boako, my brother, my sister, will sit on the right hand side of Satan on the day of judgment in hell. Because they do not care about the cry of the ordinary Ghanaian. How could you say this? Ghanaians are running out of the country in their droves. All because they are going out there to do business. They are going out for excursions, aka tourism. Go out there and see each day how many Ghanaians are chased out on the streets of New York. When you see the police running after people, illegal immigrants on the streets of Europe and America, trust me, 5 out of every 10 of them would come from Nigeria and Ghana combined. I am sad that this is happening. Recently we saw a gentleman who showed us a certain passport that he preferred that. He was celebrating. He even said that if he doesn't go to heaven, he will not care because he is in heaven already. He left this country. He said bye-bye to us. At least we have seen 5 people on the internet who were celebrating their new statuses as non-Ghanaians. You still sit back because your belly is full. You can say things that are so rotten and stinking. Shame on you, Dr. Gideon Boako. You don't care about the people of this country. And I laud you. See how many people are dying on these streets. See how many beggars we have on the streets of Accra. Both mothers and fathers have left their homes because they don't have any homes anymore. And they are begging on the streets that they have turned into their homes. Their children have joined them on the streets to beg. The number of beggars in Accra alone has increased with this government coming into power. They have decided to disgrace us by plunging us in absolute debt. And they don't care. Each day you hear the reading of the budget or these people talking about the economy. It's all about borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, chasing the wind. What a shame. It's a disgrace. My brother, my sister, Dr. Gideon Boako, a spokesperson for the vice president, has only demonstrated his mastery of the craft of lying and pretense. And that is what is sending them back into opposition in oblivion. May these people rot in the deepest part of hell for trudging Ghanaians in these serious circumstances of hand to mouth. Some of them have visited early graves. Those of us who are still alive, it's just by his grace. We have learned how to fast with time. Hallelujah. Still, I want to look at my brother, my sister. This one is related to what we're looking at, and I need you to come along. It's also on Ghana Web, and it says, God will judge you. Prophet Kofi Odro goes after Mahama and Bawumia. Prophet Kofi Odro, the head pastor of Alabaster International Ministries, has warned political leaders, especially targeting the Vice President Dr. Mamudu Bawumia and former President John Mahama. Prophet Odro's message came as a caution to fellow pastors about the perils of endorsing presidential hopefuls in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. According to him, religious leaders ought to speak the truth to politicians. He criticized Vice President Bawumia, who is also the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, for what he called the continuation of COVID-19 related taxes even after the pandemic peak. Then I will look into the eyes of the Vice President Bawumia and tell him that since COVID, we are still being charged COVID levy. God will judge you for that. God will judge you, Mr. Mamudu Bawumia. God will judge you for e-levy. God will judge you for the unfair and all the unjust that you have brought to Ghanaians. Tell them, TA, don't tell them nonsense. God does not bless nonsense. TA! My brother, my sister, this is what this prophet is saying. He said he will look at Bawumia in the eye and tell him God will judge him for e-levy. God will judge him for the continual COVID levy. He will judge him for all the injustices meted out to the people of this nation. TA! My God have mercy. My brother, my sister, Ghana has the most number of taxes in the world. I said Ghana has more taxes than any country in the world. We are taxing everything, including the wind and the air. We are taxing everything, including everything. A government that told us before they were voted into power to cajole us and to lampoon us into believing that they were the new messiahs of the nation. That they would concentrate on productivity rather than taxation. Remember when Bawumia told us this? We bought into it. I went all the way to his house to congratulate him and to tell him that, listen, you are the guys we are waiting for to take over the country. We are tired of what we're going through. Little did we know that these guys were ready to plunge us into more serious stress and debt. We are going to make sure that everybody is going to be producing so that we will not base the economy on taxation. It will be on production. And we all clapped. Who does not want production? We all love production. We want everybody to be productive. And when productivity increases in the nation, certainly we'll be able to fight inflation. We'll be able to fight a nation that has so much been deflated and it can't fly anymore. Today, my brother, my sister, even men and women of God are raining curses on this government. Fetish priests are raining insults on this government and curses. If curses are anything to go by, this government, led by Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, are ready for hell. Overly ripe candidates for this nomenclature. The next thing I want to look at is quite sensitive, but I will still look at it. Watch this. Ghana Web. And he says, NPP is one reckless comment away from losing the election. And this is from one of our colleagues. His name is Kojo Yankson, right? Those of you who remember him very well will certainly remember the Chichinga comment, you know, when he said that Chichinga seller around a certain area around Medina was responsible for a fire outbreak in the area. Remember a few years back, and it came out that, well, it was just a conjecture. I mean, these are some of the hazards of the job. He is a guy that I love. Yes. And you would also remember him for, some other escapades, which I don't want to go into. But he's a very nice personality. I've met him a couple of times. I love him. His name is Kojo Yankson, and that is Kojo Yankson right there. All right, ace journalist Kojo Yankson has stated that the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party has taken a significant risk with his appointment of Dr. Mamudu Bawumia Prempeh as his running mate for the 2024 elections. Now, according to Yankson, Dr. Bawumia could be committing a political suicide if his worst fears about the energy minister come true. Speaking on the Couch program, Kojo Yankson believed that Dr. Bawumia and his campaign team were correct in assuming that a significant win in the Ashanti region will be enough to secure victory on December 7, 2024. However, he disagrees with the idea that Mamudu Bawumia Prempeh is the right person to help them achieve their percentage target in the elections. Yankson noted that while Mamudu Bawumia Prempeh holds significant influence in the Ashanti region, his perceived arrogance and tendency to make what he considers reckless comments will jeopardize Dr. Bawumia's chance. God, I truly sympathize with Dr. Mamudu Bawumia. He is not a man of his own. He's been advised to behave like a puppet. He's been advised and trained and modeled to behave, my brother, my sister, like a puppet, like a zombie, like a yes man. My brother, my sister, let me go straight up and look at an interesting thing. It's so sad and so terribly sad, for that matter, that in the 21st century, in this modern time, where AI is doing a lot of thinking for human beings, where robots, my brother, my sister, are replacing human efforts, where with just one click, you tour around the world and return in 1 second. We are still so tribalistically inundated. Should I continue? It is so sad when I hear people say, okay, you know what? Because of votes from this area, we must pick somebody from that area. It doesn't matter whether the person has brains or not. He could be a headless jack. He could be somebody with no brains at all. Or somebody with the brains of a cockroach. They will choose you, all because of your geographical location. We no longer look at the content of the character. We are rather looking at the character and the geopolitical location. Hallelujah, Black Rasta, come down, my Lord. It is so sad, and it freezes my blood every time I have to think about this. It's no longer about who has the common sense, who can lead the nation. It's all about where we are located. And this is what Kojo Yankson is talking about. He's saying, okay, it is good to have votes in the Ashanti region, but the guy you are choosing, he is a loose cannon, extremely arrogant. He is better than everybody, including God. He's a guy who talks anyhow. Time and again, he has proven to everybody that this is the kind of person he is. Only one comment, and you are doomed for life. I am not waiting for that comment. I've heard enough of those comments. In fact, listen to me. Listen. If Satan was on the ballot paper, running with Bawumia and Napo, wallahi, I'll vote for Satan. Because I know exactly who Satan is. Satan will take me to hell. I prefer hell to Bawumia re-election. My brother, my sister, Kojo Yankson has said one thing, and it's so clear. One comment from this man is enough to destroy everything. But I will add, everything has been destroyed already. We don't need a second destruction. We are tired and fed up. Listen, to God be the glory. It's the orchestration of the Most High God that these people will never see the light of the day. That is why he has brought two arrogant people together, so that by their actions and inactions, they will go permanently into political obscurity. To God be the glory.
Keba TV, Masamba BM. Sema Mati, Asema, Okafa, Mamudu Bawumia, Dr. Gideon Boako, Nipa de Sene Katimi Katre, or Vice President, say, why say zombie? Why say puppet na? Ye regulating no. So only a bino enya drink crana, and ya tem did ye say. Timpenifoni dia tem, and call dia tem, until one in as a sea, SO24. A woman saw mine my day, but any gun and qua no mine my day. bebia wiase bebia oman no mu ayede but oman ma ayede no ye wo yeden ye wo yasumdwe adentina mo ma yen yamfa yasumdwe na yebo no obenya sika na ntokwa besi ukrom eno na yepe